fresh off the grill. Inquiry news. Hot, fresh, juicy news. Inquiry news. Again.
To hear Vladimir Putin tell it, the cruise missile carried by this rocket is basically unstoppable. Flying at 20 times the speed of sound, it can zig and zag and deliver a nuclear warhead to any target in the world.
Система отличается способностью совершать полеты.
It goes like a meteorite to its target, boasted Putin, like a fireball.
Нас никто не слушал.
Then, in reference to the United States pulling out of the anti-ballistic missile treaty, Putin added ominously, "They kept ignoring us, so listen to us now."
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming here. Putin lost his supposedly invulnerable nuclear-powered missile at sea. Now he has to go find it. So his missile that can never be destroyed is now lost at sea somewhere. So this missile that can dodge everything and come and hit the United States and destroy us now is now lost at sea out in the middle of nowhere. What a joke. Like I said, Russia, when they make equipment, it's junk. Sure, they make some equipment. Their T-72 tank, it was super popular. Why? Because it was super cheap. And, small arms fire in certain conditions. It's, for small countries and stuff like that, where they don't have any super powerful equipment to go through a tank. They're great tanks. They're kind of hot, no air conditioning, but they you can go around on those tanks and people can shoot at you. They can't get through the tank unless they have an RPG that can do it or something, and then the tank's worthless, and they're cheap. They can blow them up and you can have another one tomorrow, the next day. So the tanks are cheap, and they're not like a super nice tank with air conditioning and the kind of tanks that the United States builds. They're not like that. And so you buy a bunch of because they're so cheap, you can buy thousands of them and line them all up and attack somebody, and thousands of these tanks come rolling down on you. And so quantity was one of the things that Russia always pushed, was that if you had a quantity of tanks, thousands and thousands of them, that are cheap and crappy and come at you, then you have a few good tanks, then then you have you're gonna get overwhelmed, and that happened in World War II. So if you have a bunch of cheap tanks coming at you, but that changed with new kinds of ammunition and new kinds of bombs and things like that can take out a whole fleet of tanks now. They have bombs now that can go boom, 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 and just take out cheap tanks. And so that changed everything. It's no longer cheap tanks good, because they can be taken all out, and by big swath numbers, it's like a turkey shoot, they can be taken out. And so that's kind of funny. Anyways, the launch, Putin said in Russia, the nuclear-powered intercontinental cruise missile, missing nuclear power cruise missile that was lost excuse me, at sea during a brief test fire last year. Russian President Putin has boasted about the weapon's advanced capabilities, but all tests have reportedly ended in failure. And this missile is nuclear powered. So when this missile gets off, I guess it's powered by gasoline. They put gasoline in it, fire this thing off, and then after a certain point, then it flips to the nuclear reactor that's in the missile, and then it spews nuclear waste out the back. Isn't that nice? In the atmosphere or whatever. So if you're anywhere near it, this raining down nuclear waste on top of your head if you're below it. And then, it adds the ocean. It's doing, excuse me. Excuse me. So you're polluting the ocean water with the nuclear missile. When it crashes, he fires these off, they went into the ocean anyway. And so now this nuclear missile's reactor, hopefully is shut off, is down. That if it overheats, kaboom, right? And so it's down in the ocean. If it's still working, it's spewing out radioactive waste in the ocean. That's nice. Just so that he can try to be better than the United States. What a moron. So anyway, that's where that weapon, I guess, is somewhere in the ocean, and we don't know where the other ones are. So he's fired off quite a few of them, and they're somewhere out there, in the middle of nowhere. What a weenie head, and oh my goodness. So the test reporting ended in failures. Of course, I already said that. While the missile is supposed to be able to fly indefinitely because it's nuclear powered, its nuclear power core has yet to indicate to allow it to do that. So, initiate to do that. And then it says the Russia lost nuclear powered missile during the full test that year, and now Moscow is gearing up to go find it, according to CNBC, citing people familiar with the U.S. intelligence report. This is unbelievable. So Putin made, and these other kinds of weapons that he was talking about, I bet you they don't work either. So all this hype and everything, and then Trump cowered down to Putin, just shows you that, Trump cowered down to Putin because he has these missiles and everything, and they don't even work, none of that stuff probably works at all. And then Trump's like, bowing down to Putin because he has these other products that don't work. Proudly claiming that the world would listen to us now. Russian President Putin boasted in early March this country had developed a new nuclear-powered cruise missile with the unlimited range, but each of the four failed. I guess I got that doubled up. Oops. Sorry about that. So I was reading that again. Anyway, so, this just goes to show that, Russia does have some nuclear missiles, okay? And they're powerful, and they can, 100 megatons, I think. They blew up the biggest nuclear weapon, or hydrogen, when I say nuclear, fusion, the biggest hydrogen bomb in the world, they blew up and nearly killed the pilot. Dropping it. So, it's an extremely powerful bomb. It's, no joke about it at all. And they probably got a few of those still kicking around, or they could build another one, I'm sure. And it would, and it would devastate, anywhere it was dropped. killing lots and lots of people, guarantee you. But we have them too. We have nuclear bombs and hydrogen bombs we can drop on Russia. I mean, if we want to. And we can do that to anybody in the world as well. And so, not kidding, we could destroy whole entire countries without any problem at all, really, honest, truthfully. And there's other countries that could probably attack us, like China. They have some nuclear bombs that could probably bomb us too. So the whole point is that everybody can kill everybody. So let's back off and let's try to work out something. But it looks like they're just headstrong on wanting to do whatever they want to do instead of working together. They just want to do it. Any limited range, and each of the 4 tests in November 2017 and February reportedly ended in failure, according to the reports from May. The low-flying stealth cruise missile with a nuclear warhead. Oof. Yeah, that's crazy. And another thing, they show this missile weaving in and out around it weaves in and out around our warships that have these big dome things. You see this dome with radar. But we now have what's called radar that goes over the horizon radar now. So it goes over the horizon. So they no longer have the small domes that Putin showed in his conference, and they were going around these dome things, right? Well, they now go over the horizon. Plus, in space, picks up the difference where those leave off. What if they're in a straight line? You're in a straight line, so there's no way you can weave around them. You have to go right through the straight line. So you can see their missile coming, and we could use another nuclear bomb to blow up near where that one is. So we take a small nuke and fire it up into the atmosphere, or fire it up, and it has to be within 7 miles of that nuke and destroy it. And so even though it's super fast, we just have a nuke, waiting, and we fire it off, and it's just waiting there. Well, that gets within 7 miles of it, detonate it, and that's it. It will devour that nuke up, right? Okay, so here comes the hydrogen bomb. It's 7 miles away, and as soon as it gets within the radius of that nuclear bomb, within 7 miles or less, boom, we detonate it. It destroys it. That's it. That nuke, even though it's going Mach, whatever, 23 or whatever it is, it's still going to get destroyed because we're ahead of it. It may take a half hour to get to the United States, but in between the half hour, 15-minute range, we have a nuke sitting there waiting for it to come. We blow that up in the air, and that bomb's destroyed. That's simple. So the low-flying stealth cruise missile with a nuclear warhead with a particularly unlimited range, unpredictable flight path, and an ability to bypass the interceptor line is invaluable to all existing and future missile defense, air defense. Right. I don't believe it. It's such a bunch of bunk. And not only that, our radar is really good. Really, really, really good. I don't believe that Putin over there has developed radar to the same quality of our radar. Maybe they have. I don't think so. They've never proved. I've never seen proof that it's better than ours. And so I don't think. And they may be. We'll give them a little bit of a doubt, but I don't think it is. And so their radar is there. They have not as many ships. They don't have as many aircraft carriers. They don't have as many satellites. They don't have, so they're partly blind compared to us. And I just don't think they have the highest technology that we do. And so that means they're blind for part of stuff they do. And so it's just not there. So it's like pushing your weight around when you don't have any. So if you lined up all the ships in a straight line, those domes would connect, and then you would have a straight line, and that missile is not going to curve around a dome because they're all connected. And so what does it do then? It can't go around the domes; it has to go through them. And so then it's discovered. Ta-da! If it goes high, that's flying low altitude, which it claims. Then if it flies a high altitude, then it's going to get caught by the satellites up above, and it'll be seen that way. So, so there's and with the new radar extension horizon, those domes are a lot bigger, and they can see a lot further, and that missile's going to be seen, and they're not. It's ain't going to happen. Our vertical flight path and ability to bypass intercepted lines and the invariable to all existing and future missiles defense air defense systems, Putin claimed. No one in the world has anything like it. He added, "You're right. Nobody does have anything like it in the world." Because it doesn't exist.
So listen to us
It doesn't
now.
exist. Incredible flight path and the ability to bypass interception lines is variable and existing future missile defense and air defense systems. Putin claimed, "No one in the world has anything like it." Yeah, that's right. No one has anything like it because it doesn't exist. And so he just got his. We just called his bluff. He fired off these missiles. They don't work. At least this one doesn't work. I mean, I'm sure he can drop an atom bomb on us. I mean, I'm sure of that. But we could also watch him, and if we think he's going to drop a nuke on us, we could also blow it out of the sky. The plane or whatever, the delivery system. He might. I think he could probably hit us with one nuke, maybe. But after that, he's gonna get nukes raining down on his head like you wouldn't believe. I had a friend, this guy I was talking to one day, and he claimed he was over there when we were dismantling their nukes in silos. And he said he couldn't believe it. He was over there, and I don't know if he was really over there, if he's just making it up or not. But he seemed like an honest person and everything. He did work for the government, the Air Force, and so I thought, well, maybe he's telling the truth. And I don't know if the Air Force is the one dismantled them or not, but he was over there while they're dismantling them. And he said that when they got there to take out some of these big nukes, they pulled them out of the silos, that some of the silos were half full of water or more. Some silos were completely full of water, and the nuke bombs are completely submerged. So the problem is that if they're completely submerged in water or half in water, they would not have been able to fire those nukes off. So and I don't know what the percentage was, but he said a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, a big chunk of them, all were underwater. And he said it was incredible. He couldn't believe it that most of their nukes were underwater or half full of water anyway. And so if you try to ignite the propellant with an igniter, it has to be a certain temperature for it to ignite that igniters. They wouldn't have ignited, in their opinion. Uh, and so half of their nukes, depending on which ones they fired off first, wouldn't have fired. They would have failed. So there's all these nukes that they bragged about firing before might not have fired off, and they would have been in big trouble. And so right now is that the same kind of thing going on as those nukes right now under those buried in the ground? Are they underwater? Are they are they pumping the water out? Are they full of water? Maybe some of them are, maybe some aren't. And so that might be going on right now. And so that means I know ours are not underwater, guarantee you. And ours do work, and they will hit their targets, and they will. We don't bluff. The United States doesn't bluff, and when it comes to those kinds of bombs, and they'll hit their target. Yes, they could probably be shot out of the air if you had the right kind of equipment to do it. And I just don't think Russia has the sophistication to set it up and to do that. It's the longest recorded flight, according to U.S. assessment, lasts only a little over 2 minutes. 2 minutes of flying, just 22 miles, and the missile spun out of control and crashed. In each case, oh my goodness. So there you go. So there you go. So flying at 22 miles. The longest one was 22 miles. Spun out of control. Crashed. Yep. That's Putin's wonderful weapons. Can't even fly 100 miles. Oh my goodness. Can't even fly 100 miles. Oh, I'm sure he'll get this missile to fly a little longer. But the thing is like I said, he's still got to be able to go around all the jamming. He's got to go over all the other kind of warfare stuff that we have, missile detection, and I just want to make a comment here. It's funny that how we can't seem to have very good intel on anything, and then here we are having this awesome intel about where the missile crashed, almost exactly where it is in the ocean. And we know exactly how long the missile flew. We actually have a video of it flying and everything on this intel, and we can't even tell you, we can't even beat the Taliban up, who are just poor guys with a machine gun walking through a field. And that's another thing. Trump, I guess, moved all our troops out of Afghanistan, or pretty close to it, and now Taliban are taking over Afghanistan. Wonderful. So Afghanistan's going to fall soon because of Trump. And it looks like the Taliban's going to take over all of Afghanistan now and start chopping heads off. And all that's going to start all over again. All because of President Trump. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I think it probably would have happened with whoever's president anyway. I don't know whether it would have been Trump or somebody else. Anyway, but so now the Taliban's taking over Afghanistan. They took over, they even got down into Kabul, I guess, the city of Kabul, and surrounded some of the city. That's crazy. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. And I kept thinking, man, we've been over there for forever, shooting this, shooting that, and I'm like, where are all these Taliban coming from? It's like thousands of them. And I mean, hundreds of thousands of them. It can't be just like we're shooting up all these people. There's like they just keep coming, and we're shooting. And I'm like, chasing them and everything. And I'm like, this is impossible. We have the most advanced military in the world, and we're shooting these guys like with high-tech equipment, and they got little AK-47s, and we're shooting with 50 cals from a or even bigger than 50 cals that are mounted on a truck, shooting him like 5 miles away. Bam, 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 bam. We're just plowing the bullets into a mountainside like it's butter, and we're just murdering them left and right, and it's like not even denting them. And I'm like, something's wrong with this picture. Something's wrong with this picture. So we weren't really killing a lot of Taliban. We're just killing some of the Taliban. And the ones that pissed us off or whatever, we probably went after certain ones, but not all of them. Probably left most of them alone, just killed some of them. The ones that didn't shoot back, we left them alone. Pretty much. And so there's probably thousands and thousands of them there that we didn't mess with. And so they just kind of waited until we did our thing, went around killing the ones that shot at us, and then the ones that didn't, we left them alone. And now they're taking over the city of Kabul and attacking attacking Afghanistan. So they're going to take it over again. It'll go back to the Taliban, like it was before Bin Laden. Wow. And it'll go back to chopping hands off and chopping heads off, and instead of modernizing Afghanistan like we like we were trying to do, it's going to go back to like it was before, you know, a horrible place to live and people chopping heads off and all that kind of fun stuff. Isn't that wonderful? I just want to mention that in this video so that when you see it happening, don't be surprised. And of course, that's probably not in the mainstream news anywhere either. This report isn't either. This is buried in the reports. You probably won't find it on CNN or any of the other ones. Crest each one lasts the nuclear power of the experimental cruise missile failed, preventing the weapon from achieving its indicated flight and unlimited range. Russian President bragged about. Yeah, of course, keeps repeating that theme, huh? Anyways, yeah, so, you know, here's Putin, you know, brag, and then, you know, his missile doesn't work, and probably the other ones that he talked about won't work. I kept thinking, I was like, you know, because he was talking about the one in the water, and you have a lot of water wake when the faster you go underwater, you're trolling all this water with a missile. So when you're underwater, there's a certain amount of speed you can only go, and the faster you go, you're pushing all this, you're breaking all this water with the missile, and you can only break a certain amount of water, and it's only going to go so fast. Or the pressures are so great on the missile, it breaks apart. It doesn't matter if it's steel or whatever, it'll just bust apart that missile. You know, it only can take so much pressure. If you go underwater to the deepest part of the ocean, you know, in a craft, it you know, crushes the craft, you know, as it goes down, the water gets so tight on it, it could crush a craft, right? Or a submarine or whatever. In fact, we've had a craft go to the deepest part of the ocean, only in the United States, and it went down there and would touch the cracked part of the glass, but it could have, you know, destroyed that craft if it wasn't built well. And but no one else has been able to achieve that depth in a craft with two people ever, only the United States. And so that's how crushing the water is. And so you're sending a missile at high speed underwater, and it's trying to cut through the water at a high speed. Eventually, that water will just act like a saw and just cut right through the missile, just like you know, they have saws that are water propelled saws that cut through steel, cut through all kinds of things. So you get going super fast like that, you know. And he was bragging that it was going to go supersonic underwater. I don't think so. I don't think so. And there were some ideas on missiles underwater to make them go faster. And I think there was an idea of putting some like bubbles on the outside of a missile to make it glide through water faster and things like that, I think, or something like that. I know they're using that for submarines so they can't detect them, but someone was telling me there was a missile that you could put bubbles on the outside of it, and the bubbles made it so that it's not cutting the water. It's actually there's like a water barrier around it, so it will smooth through the water better for some reason, somehow scientifically, and it can go faster than the normal missile just cutting through water. So. Molecular experimental cruise missile failed, preventing the weapon from achieving the. Oh, okay, same thing. So you get that going on, and he's saying that this robot thing could go to the United States, and you know, I might be able to make it here, but not at high speeds, or even if it was a low speed one. I think I remember saying something about a low-speed one. Even if it was a low-speed one going around, we have attack subs and things like that looking for things like that. And And, we have a lot of experience in the seas. Russia used to have that, but all those people are retired or fired, or Putin fired them all. The tests were apparently conducted at the request of senior Kremlin officials, despite the protests of Russian engineers who argued that the platform was not ready for testing. Russian media reports claim the weapon will be ready to deploy in 10 years. Oh, okay. 10 years. Right, I doubt it. I don't think it's going to be ready in 10 years or even 20. Something like that is pretty tough to make. Despite the protests of Russian engineers argued the plan. Oh, okay. I doubled it up. Huh? How did I do that? I did that like a couple times on the other ones too. I doubled them up. I don't know how I ended up doing that. Oh, jeez. So, anyways, so the Russian people, these engineers, they're, look at the intel we got here. They got the Russian people building it, telling us. It said it crashed into the Barents Sea. Three ships with one, the ability to handle radioactive material will take part in the search operations. Don't think about that for a minute. Man, we have intel, them telling us even the ships that are going to go out there and find it. It's probably out of their newspaper, maybe. I don't know. That's pretty good. Wow. What a joke. I just think this is just unbelievable. Sorry, I'm eating some chips. I had to have a couple. But, this is just completely, shows you just, experts concerned about the possibility that the missiles may be leaking radioactive nuclear material. The missiles is suspected to be relying on gasoline for the takeoff, but switch to, that I was telling you before. Switch to nuclear stuff afterwards. Gasoline, huh? Instead of, jet propellant or missile propellant of some type, or they got it on gasoline. That's kind of weird. Wonder why gasoline. It's still pretty heavy. So that thing's real heavy, you'd think you'd want jet propellant to be lighter. Get that thing going. So these things could be shot down then as they're taking off. That'd be the prime time to shoot it down, would be as it's just taking off, because it'd be super slow. It wouldn't even hit supersonic. Hit them before they turn supersonic. Boy, that'd be the time to get them. Yeah, right, just as they're taking off from the ground before they switch to the nuclear thing, hit them, boom, 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 they're destroyed. That'd be a perfect time to hit them, and that would be a bad day for Russia. Uh-oh, we got a problem. All our missiles were taken out as we fired them off. Uh-oh, we got a big problem. Experts are concerned about the possibility that the missile may be leaking radioactive nuclear material. Missiles suspected to rely on. Oh yeah, same thing. See, I doubled them up again. How did I do that? I don't know. I didn't put two of them in there. I only had one and rolled it down. They must have doubled up on their end. Weird. So anyway, here's Putin bragging about all this kind of stuff. Brag. Threaten my family. Threaten the family of the United States. Threaten my family here. Make us all worry about that. There's a possibility that they might nuke us or some of these advanced weaponry, which is a fraud. And he's teaching the Russian people, making them think, all these people, that they're safe, that we can nuke the United States and we're going to be more powerful than them, and all this stuff, lying to them with a false hope, giving the military false hope, giving them all false hope that they're going to nuke the United States or something. And now the reality is it was all a con. And like I said before, Putin's a con artist. He's an idiot, and now he just conned his own country, and you know, I mean, you know, we Russians are getting supplies from the United States, okay, like milk and stuff, because they can't milk enough cows to. I mean, they have a lot of cows. They have a huge dairy farm, but they cannot produce enough milk to give everybody in Russia milk. The United States can, okay? They only have 140 million people. And in the United States, we have 300 million people, and we have milk for everybody and extra that we sell, okay? But the thing is that they have to add additives to their milk to spread it out for everybody, you know. So they buy cheese from us, milk from us, and everything that helps them feed their people, right? Well, that's pretty cool. So, anyways, you know, if you don't want to buy American products, don't buy them. But don't deny all the other Russian people there that want to buy American products. You know, let them buy it, you know. If you don't want to buy milk, you want to water down with corn oil or whatever it is they stick into it, or who knows what they stick into the cow's milk. Oh, I wouldn't even want to drink it, the Russian milk, because I don't know what they put into it other than real milk in it. To, you know, extra water and who knows what else. And so, you know, if you want to buy some whole milk, you know, from the United States, it's not watered down. It's real milk, you know, it's good for your kids and family. You know, you could go buy it. It might be expensive, but hey, if you have the money, you can buy it for your kids and stuff. And so, and then let the Russians that want to buy American products, McDonald's or whatever, let them buy the stuff. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. So made in USA, don't buy it. Buy something else. Buy just all the Russian stuff only, you know. And then the people that are Russian that want to buy the good, you know, American stuff, they can do it. You know, what's the big deal? It's not the end of the world, you know, for you. You can go buy the Russian cheese and the cheap cheese and all the other kind of Russian stuff. Buy that only, and leave the American products for the people who want to buy those. Let people have a choice, a freedom of deciding what they want to buy, and not let this dictator Putin decide. What is he, God? He's going to decide what people can buy and can't buy in Russia? What is he, God? Who the hell do you think he is? You know, really, honestly, what is it? Who the hell he thinks he is has the right to limit what people can eat and what people can buy in Russia? He has no right to do that. That's none of his business. It's none of his business or his government's business to decide what Russians get to eat and not eat in Russia. Okay? It's none of his damn business. His business is to run the country, you know, national defense, you know, those kinds of things. But none of his business what kind of cheese you put on your table. If it's from America or not, it's none of Putin's business. If America wants to sell cheese over there, they should be able to do so. And then people who want to buy American cheese can buy it. If people that are Russian want to buy Russian cheese, they can buy Russian cheese. Or other kinds of cheeses from France or England or wherever they want to buy it from. The freedom is none of Putin's business. And that guy needs to be taken out of office. You guys got to get together, throw him out of office, get somebody else in there, and change the country before you guys get yourself hurt. Because this is it's going to happen, I think. I think there's some nukes are going to go off and some people are going to end up dead. And it ain't going to be the United States. It's going to end up being Russians. And unfortunately, and we're not going to invade Russia. We don't want anything to do with the country. We were just trying to help people out, make some money over there so they could have a better life and a better living. That's all we want. That's it. We don't want the fucking country. We don't want anything to do with that country. The Americans don't. No one wants to live over that cesspool over there. I mean, you know, they have some great places to live. Russians like living over there. Great. Now we can help you make some money so you can live over there. Americans don't want to live there. You guys want to live there? Okay, good. We'll make it so you have some jobs so you can make some money and you can stay there and be happy. And, you know, when we're happy over here and everybody's happy, you can have your vodka over there and send us a letter letting us know how it's working out. You know, that's if you need a few bucks, we'll give you a few bucks. But you have to go to work. Can't just lay around home and do nothing. You know, everybody's got to work for a living, right? Even Putin has to go work for a living. So you know, everybody's got to get out and do something, and then you can have the better cheese if you want. If you don't want the better cheese, don't buy it. But don't have Putin go out there and take away McDonald's, shut down Taco Bell, steal all the cheese, steal all the milk, destroy it all, and say Americans, you're denied having to be able to buy American food. That's just damn stupid, and that's insane. Get rid of this guy before he destroys Russia.